Hello friends, you've asked for it and I am here to deliver. This is the watch collection video. A couple of disclaimers before I start. Disclaimer number one, none of these watches stay at my home address. So if you're thinking about breaking into my home address to steal a watch, you'll be lucky if you get away with a Seiko. And I also have a very large hunting knife next to my bed, so I wouldn't advise it. The second disclaimer, this video is not intended as some sort of a flex. You can go on YouTube and you can look at lots of watch collection videos, like I do, of guys who have insane collections worth immense amounts of money. And this is not one of those. There are some nice watches in here, but this is not meant as a flex. This is meant to highlight, for those of you who like watches and horology, this is meant to just give you a bit of an insight as to why I own what I own. And also, I don't have kids, I don't have a wife, and I rent my apartment, and I have very little responsibilities. So I spend my money on my hobbies, right? Which are things like watches. Also worth noting, many of these watches were bought pre-owned. I've done this on a bit of a budget. We're gonna start with my first watch. But my first watch was this Seiko Padi turtle. And I had seen, I'd watched a bunch of videos and everyone was talking about the SKX. And I like the SKX and I was looking at them. But I followed, at the time on Instagram, I followed a guy called the Cigar Smoking Model. And Cigar Smoking Model was he was the Stig of cigars. He never showed his identity, but he would put up all these awesome cigar pictures on Instagram. And I actually got chatting to him. We made friends, sort of. His name was Nick. Shout out, Nick. And he put up a picture of a wrist shot, and he was wearing this watch. And I was like, that is sick. I loved the Padi affiliation with the little Padi details on the dial. For those who don't know, Padi is I think it's the Professional Association of Diving Instructors. I think that's it. So it's associated with diving. And I wanted a diver, right? And this watch was in my local, I think it was Goldsmiths or something like that. And I went in and I had the whole experience, man. I bought a new watch. It came in a nice box. They sized it for me. It came on a bracelet. I've got it on this cool NATO. I'm going to insert some cool wrist shots. And I love this watch. Cushion case, super comfortable. And I still love this watch. I still love it and I still wear it. I don't think, and I'll probably talk about this more later, but you just don't need to buy, it doesn't need to be a Rolex, man, to enjoy it. I still love this brand as much as I did I first bought this watch. And I still look at Seikos, and we'll get into it later, but one of my other favorite watches is a Seiko. So that was my first automatic watch. And I love it, and I still got it, and it's not going anywhere. This is a strange one. I was following another page on Instagram, and the guy had a collection of Panerais. And he put up this once, and it's called a Pontvs Nessie, and it's a fully brass watch, bronze brass. And it was super cool, and it was they were a startup company, and I liked what they were doing, so I ordered one. And I got, I think this is number 30. I don't wear it that much. It came with 2 straps. It's quite a substantial watch. It came with a couple of straps. It could probably do with a strap change, because that's how I sort of fall in love with watches again. I change the straps on all of my watches all the time, with the exception of a couple. So this doesn't get a lot of time. It doesn't get a lot of love, but I think it's a cool watch. And actually, do you know what? I'll order a new strap for it. Probably look good on a brown leather. And you'll probably see this on my Instagram at some point in the future. The next watch I bought was my first luxury watch. And I thought I wanted a Rolex, right? And a good friend of mine, Robin, shout out Robin, he said to me, have you ever looked at the brand Panerai? And I'd never heard of them. And I was like, Panerai? No. And I Googled it. We were together having coffee. I Googled it and I looked at it and I was like, ugh, no, I don't like that. And dismissed it. And then, over the next few weeks, months, years, I saw them everywhere. Suddenly, that reticular activating system was activated. And I saw Sylvester Stallone wearing them. Arnie, Dolph Lundgren, all these like cool guys that I admired, I saw wearing Panerais. The Rock, you know, that was back when The Rock was cool. And I was like, it's the design language started speaking to me, and I started to get it. Do you know what I mean? I started to get it. And I went into Watches of Switzerland. This is way before I had the budget to buy a watch, right? I went into Watches of Switzerland, and I tried on a bunch of watches. I tried on a couple of Amigas, and I think I tried on a Rolex by that point, and the Panerai just, I don't know, it was just like my watch. Do you know what I mean? It was my brand. So so it was my goal to buy one, and I put a picture of one on my screensaver on my phone, and my plan was to save and buy a Panerai. That was what I wanted. And then COVID happened, the whole like lockdowns. I thought, fuck it, I'm going to order one. I'm going to buy it. And so I bought a watch I wanted on Watch Finder, which is a PAM 111, which is what I'm wearing now. And I remember when it came, the drama of the box and all that kind of stuff. And I would have loved to have gone in the boutique and bought it, but you know, that wasn't an option at the time. And I bought this watch, and I still love it. Do you know what? Funnily enough, I don't wear this watch that much because it's kind of fancy. You know, it's fully polished case, and it just feels kind of dressy to me. And I have more rugged watches, and that's my general aesthetic is that, right? Like I like rugged utilitarian stuff. But I do love this watch. Manual wind. I like the cool deployment clasp. I for the most part I keep it on this strap, but exhibition case back. It's a cool watch, and for like when you see other people wearing Panerais, or you know, I remember before I owned this, I used to see other people wearing them, and I'd be like, oh, there it is, you know, you can spot them from a mile off. And so I love Panerai, and if you're a bigger guy like me, Panerai is a great brand to get into, and there's more Panerai, right? So that was my first luxury watch, and then it was like a slippery slope after that, right? So the next watch that I purchased was the Rolex, and I bought the Rolex. I'd always wanted a Rolex, and I'd always wanted a GMT, and I had the opportunity to buy one at one point, and I didn't take it, and then the prices started going up, and a local dealership to me had this in the window one day, and it's the all black bezel GMT, and they call it the espresso. And I remember I'd walk past the shop, I'd look in the window, and then I'd go off. And then I remember I was looking in the window once, and the guy, his name was Guy, who was working in the shop, he opened the door and said, "Do you want to just try it on?" And I was like, "No, man, no, I can't afford it. Like, I'm not like." And he was like, "Come on, man, come in. I see you all the time looking at this watch. Come in and try it on." And so, which was really fantastic sales, right? Anyway, so I went into the shop and I tried it on. And if you've never tried on a Rolex before, the first thing you notice is like how like they feel amazing. You know, they feel amazing to wear. All the components, the clasp, everything feels great. And you know, I'd not had a watch of this quality before. Anyway, I tried it on, I fell in love. I took a picture of it on my wrist. And then I think I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I went back to the shop, and I put the deposit down on it. And I remember I was sweating, and the guy in the shop was quite casual about it. And I said, like, this is a big deal for me. But at the time I bought this, I just started Skyline fire stopping, and I was in a little bit of debt at the time, right? I'd taken on a loan to get the company going. And I remember that I felt very conflicted about buying something like this for myself when I had debt. So I made a vow to myself that I was going to buy the watch, put it away in a drawer, and I wouldn't wear it until the debt was paid off. And I did. That's what I did. I bought the watch because it was the right time. It was a good investment at the time. And I stashed the box in a drawer. I paid it off. It probably took me a couple of months because the company was doing well, but we just had a cash flow shortfall. And then I remember I took it out the drawer when that was paid off, and I wore it and I felt like I earned it. And there's been multiple times where I've considered selling this, right? Because it's just a watch and I'm not sentimental about a lot of this. But every time that's happened, because there's been situations, you know, in business, you'll understand this if you're in business, especially if you're in construction, where cash flow is a nightmare and you could really do with 10 grand. And every time I've come to sell this, it hasn't sold. And it's almost like I'm starting to believe that the universe wants me to own this watch. So it's kind of funny. I can't get rid of it. And it kind of just wants to stay by my side. This watch has been strangely loyal to me, despite me trying to sell it once or twice. So there it is. Shortly after I bought that, I was doing quite well at the time, and I bought this, which is an Omega Seamaster black ceramic, and I'd never seen one of these before. This watch was brand new. Well, it wasn't brand new, it was used, but it was still stickered, in the box, all original receipts, everything, never been worn. A great deal on it, right? And I remember putting it on, and I like Omega, but I'd never liked the Seamaster, but this watch just really worked for me. And I remember putting it on and just thinking, this is kind of like a heavy metal watch, you know? It's kind of cool, but it also kind of flies under the radar. And being in construction and stuff, you kind of want something you can wear that's not going to raise too many eyebrows, right? And I remember at the time I was driving this black pickup truck that was all lifted and all murdered out, and having a like fully black murdered out watch was just sort of cool. It went really well with the truck, and so I bought it, and I really enjoy this watch. Out of all of my watches, this one keeps the best time, and I love Omega as a brand. So I really enjoy this watch. I've put it on all sorts of strange straps, and it just kind of works, right? And again, it's another one. It flies under the radar. People don't, you know, I don't like the idea of like being super flash with my watches, but I really like this. Kind of utilitarian, kind of rough, but gets everything done. And I've never seen anyone else wearing another one. I've seen them in boutiques, obviously, but I never see people wearing this watch. So I love this watch. This is a strange one, right? If anyone out there watches Producer Michael, like on YouTube, you will know what this is. This is called a SAR Bomber, and it looks a lot like a Richard Mille RM11. Now, I used to like Richard Milles. I used to think they were cool, and but you know what? Like, I'm not sure that's something I would own now. It's just like not really. I think I've developed a bit more of my own style identity since then. But he was talking about these watches, and you could buy them, and they were, you know, they were saying that they were as good as. It's a quartz watch, so it's the only non-automatic watch. No, it's not the only one, but it's not automatic. And they were really affordable. I remember it's a few £100, and I thought, fuck it. So I bought it, and for a quartz watch, it's very big and heavy, but it's like a flyback chronograph, so it's kind of cool. I didn't have a chronograph. But the problem with this watch is when you wear it, people think it's a Richard Mille, and that's not exactly. I don't think that's a good thing. So some people think that's cool. They're like, yeah, it looks like people will think you're wearing a Richard. I don't want that. I don't want to look like I'm wearing a £100,000 or £200,000 watch if I'm not. In fact, I don't want to be drawing attention to that kind of thing. Watches are for my personal enjoyment, right? I'm not wearing it to impress anyone else. But I did enjoy it, but it broke. The crown stem broke. That's what you get if you spend a couple £100 on a watch, right? So I didn't wear it that much. I wore it in the summer sometimes, but you know, I don't even know if I can even get that repaired, whether or not I'll bother. It just sits in the corner of this box now. Then came this big boy. So this is probably my second favorite watch in the collection. And this is a Panerai Submersible. So it's the sort of big brother to the Luminor. And after I bought my Luminor, then I quickly wanted the Submersible, which is the big meaty one. And it's 47 millimeters, right? You gotta be able to pull this watch off. It's not for everyone. I love it. It's a beast, right? And I remember when I bought this, I'd had a motorcycle accident and I'd broken my foot, and it was summer, and we were doing really well at the time, but I think I was in a bit of a funk, And I remember going up to London on crutches in the summer, going up to Bond Street. When I put this watch on, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Like, this watch just works on me, right? It just fits right, works. And it's also a strap monster, and I love changing straps on watches. So any watch that is, and Panerai, just like, they're a brand that I associate myself with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy the brand. I'm sort of like, I've been to a few of their events, and they're very good. Like, when you go into the boutiques, they always recognize you, and they always treat you well. I like Panerai. And this watch is an absolute beast, and I just think it suits me. It suits my lifestyle, and I always get a kick out of wearing it. And I just think it's really enjoyable. Like, I'll often check the time on this watch, and then look at it for a minute, and then look back, and then have to check the time again, because I didn't pay attention to what the time was, because I was too busy just appreciating the watch. Like, rough, tough, utilitarian, like my jam, right? I love it. And I love the two Panerais together. I just think they look wicked. The next watch is the Seiko Arnie. Like, this is my favorite watch. like unbelievably, this is my favorite watch. I haven't owned it that long. It's just your run-of-the-mill Seiko Arnie that you can get off the shelf. I've put it on this like camo NATO strap, which just looks super cool. But I love the Seiko Arnie because obviously, like, I'm a kid of the 80s, man. I grew up watching Predator and Commando and all that, and Arnie wore this watch in those movies, and it's just super cool. It's also like got a G-Shock sort of vibe to it, and a bit of a Panerai vibe to it. It's a man's watch, you know. I really enjoy this watch, and it was a gift. It was the only watch out of all of these that was gifted to me by Jo, who's my assistant and girlfriend, and she bought it for me for my 40th birthday, and we were in Monaco, and it's like the nicest gift anyone's given me, man. No one's ever bought me a watch before, and yeah, I really appreciate it. I bought her a watch, like, I think the year before for Christmas, so it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed receiving it, and I love it, and it's my favourite watch. And the only problem is I don't wear it a whole bunch because it's quite chunky. I wear it a lot in the summer, but it's yeah, it is definitely one of my favourite watches. The next one that I think that came shortly after that was the MoonSwatch. Like, when the MoonSwatch thing first came about, I remember I'm not really being aware of all the hype. And I remember when it was coming out, I was really excited because the Speedmaster was on my list, and I thought, like, oh, it's super cool. I like the collab. I thought it was a cool thing they were doing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go down and get one of those MoonSwatches. Like, and I remember thinking to myself, oh, the day it comes out, I'll go the next day, because, like, if people, you know, because then there'll be a little bit of hype will die down. And then I think in London there was like they had to shut it down because so many people turned up, and there was like a stabbing. And it's just kind of like, I mean, it's just wholly depressing, and that made me like not want the watch, to be honest. And then years later, when all the hype had died down, I was on Carnaby Street, Jo and we wandered into the shop, and I started chatting to the guy because I kind of gave up on trying to get one, even though I really liked him. And I got chatting with the guy in the shop, and I started asking questions. And I think it was obvious that I was like a watch guy, like a watch enthusiast. And I said, like, can you even get them? And the guy said, yeah, I got a few. Like, do you want me to, which one do you want? And I bought this one. And I also bought the limited edition, like, Snoopy one, and gave that to Jo. And I thought that was super cool, you know, like, so we were just lucky. But yeah, I don't wear it that much, but I think it's a super cool watch. I put it on this strap from Straps and Kettles. Like, I think the straps they come on are that much cop, but I love it. It's really cool. Will I buy another one? Probably not. I know they do an orange one. I'd quite like that. I think it's a Mission to Mars. I do like the blank pun one they did though. Like, if you know, I'd probably wander in the shop one day and see if I can get one of those. But cool little watch. It's good. It's good to chuck on if you're going somewhere and you don't want to be wearing an expensive watch, right? And last but not least, my most recent watch is my McQuade. So McQuade is a watch that my friend Rob, it's a watch brand that my friend Rob owns. They were a Kickstarter campaign. It's a Damascus, fully Damascus steel watch with a Solita movement. It's super cool. I remember when I first met Rob and he came to one of my events and he was wearing the prototype of the watch and I thought it was super cool. You know, I was like, that's a fucking cool watch. And I remember trying it on and being like, yep, that's a bit of me. And I actually bought 4 of these. I gave one to one of my business partners and 2 to a couple of guys that work for me. And, you know, and I really wanted to support Rob and what he's doing. He's got another brand out now. I'll link it below. But yeah, that was my most recent pickup. And I really love this watch. I wear it a lot. It's a really great watch to, it does draw attention. People will ask you about this watch. And it's also a bit of a strap monster. Works on multiple straps, looks great on an 80. I've got it on the strap it came on here. But yeah, so those are my watches, man. I've got, you know, there are a couple other watches I would love in my collection. I really would love one of the Seiko Willards. I'm looking at the original ones. You know, I'd maybe like something vintage. There's a couple other you know, do I have a Grail watch? I don't know, there's a couple, you know, I really love the, there's a couple of Vacherons I really like. And also, I really like a Vacheron Overseas as well. There's lots of, but you've got to wear them. You've got to try them on and see how they fit and see how they work. You know, sometimes, it's my belief that sometimes the watch kind of picks you. So there's a bunch of stuff. I'd really love to do something full yellow gold. I think that would be a bit of a stunt and I think I could pull it off. So I think my next watch purchase is probably going to be another Seiko because I love them. I love them, and I've got a few goals at the moment, and then if I hit those, I'll probably treat myself to another watch. But I got a tax bill I've got to pay first. But that was my watch collection. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what watches you have in the comments below, and let me know if you want me to go into any more detail on any of these. You know, if you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I was going to say I drop 2 videos every week, but I don't. I'm very busy at the moment, so I'm doing what I can. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to do one. Everyone wanted a one on style and men's clothes, so we're going to do something on that as well, right? Let me know if you enjoyed this video in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys.